I could take the timekeeper's servants of you will perish.
You grow more pathetic every moment that passes.
Unbridled potential!
What's going on, guys? Boss Squirrel here with another Borderlands 4 video. Today I want to share Cowboy Amon, which is inspired by my previous Cowboy Rafa and Cowgirl Vex. If you haven't watched those builds yet, I've placed it on the description down below if you guys want to check it out. Again, the concept is the same. This build focuses on the use of Jacob's weapons because I just love using them. But in Amon's case, the build is a combination of using guns and melee attacks, because as we all know, Amon is severely lacking in gun damage. We can't just rely on his guns alone. Most of his passive skills boost his elemental damage, status effect damage, or melee damage. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into the build. Okay, so now going first with the skill tree. The action skill we're going to use is Onslaughter, and we're going full red tree here. We're not going to put points on the blue or the green tree, just the red tree. So the main goal of this build is to boost our elemental damage and our status effect damage as much as possible. So first is 5 points on what burns within for more incendiary damage. Next is Will the Storm for more status effect damage and status effect duration. We're not going to put points on Bullet Storm for that extra gun damage because honestly, Amon's gun damage is crap. Even without this, I'm still able to do insane amount of damage in bossing, so I'd rather go with survivability. So I just put 1 point on Forge and Still, so that whenever we activate our Forge skill, we become immune to all damage sources for 6 seconds, which is nice. 3 points on Gut Punch, as you can see. Melee damage and ordnance damage have a chance to apply weakness. And whenever we weaken an enemy, enemy damage dealt is minus 40%, and enemy damage taken is 20%, which is nice. Next is 1 point on the best defense, so that we can gain overshield whenever we deal melee damage. Next is 5 points on Berserk. We all know this skill. This skill is really powerful. Well, Berserk alone isn't really that great. What makes it really powerful is this skill. There's only red. As you can see, it's a kill skill. Whenever Amon kills an enemy while Berserk is active, partially restore Berserk's duration and increase bonus cryo damage. And the max stacks that you can get is 600%, which is really a lot. And in bossing, in order for us to take advantage of There Is Only Red, is we need this skill, My Touch is Death. Whenever Amon deals melee damage, there is a chance to activate kill skills. So I just put 2 points on Bloodlust for extra lifesteal and reload speed. So, of course, max out My Touch is Death. Next is Dragon's Breath. This is also really powerful. As you can see, whenever Amon activates his ordnance, his next gunshot is converted to incendiary damage. The staggering part isn't important, but the damage increase is 100%. The extra 5 points, I'm just getting it from our class mod. And next is 5 points on Catastrophe. As you can see, whenever Amon applies shock to an enemy, he gains increased critical hit chance. And whenever Amon applies burning to an enemy, he gains increased critical hit damage. And in order for us to take advantage of this, we need this skill, Electrical Fire. As you can see, whenever Amon burns an enemy, he also shocks them. And whenever Amon shocks an enemy, he also burns them. Okay, so Next, for the remaining 10 points, I just put it here for Fist of Stone. Whenever Amon deals melee damage, restore a percentage of Forge skill cooldown, which is really nice so that we can always keep spamming our Forge skill. And next is 3 points on Crackling Aegis for more status effect damage and ordnance damage. And for the remaining 2 points, I just place it here on the best defense so that we can gain more overshield, which is really good in mobbing, so that we can just to avoid us from getting into fight for your life a lot of times. Okay. For the augment for mobbing, I use Pyroclast because whenever we kill an enemy, we restore our action skill duration. But you have to make sure that you're like near the enemy for that action skill duration restoration. And for bossing, we use Force of Nature, as you can see. While Onslaughter is active, gun damage dealt to enemies will prime them for a duration, and will detonate when they die or are damaged by a Forge skill, dealing incendiary damage. And as you can see, the detonation damage is 100% of gun damage dealt, which is really nice. And the best Forge skill to pair this with is Stormcutter, just because mainly it is a ranged attack, and also it restores our action skill duration, which is really good. Okay, so that's it for the skill tree. Now, moving on to the gear. Again, it's just the same concept. We're using Jacob's weapons for mobbing. I really love using the Hot Slugger, even the Hellwalker, or even the Balor. For bossing, you only need one weapon, which is a spread launcher. I only have two because there are bosses that has two phases, like the Timekeeper, which has the first phase and the second phase. And next is for the rep kit, we're using a mini triple bypass with an amp augment. On use, grants increased damage of the next shot by 200%. And for the grenade or the ordnance, we're using a Slippy. As you can see, since it deals melee damage, we really can take advantage of My Touch is Death. And as you've noticed on the first part of my video, whenever I do bossing, I do not shoot the enemy right away. I let my Slippies proc My Touch is Death first and get the max stacks of There Is Only Red before I shoot the enemy, so that we can just for that increased one-shotting potential. Okay, and also preferably with the Sleepy, you can go with Overflow. As you can see, maximum grenade charge is increased by 1, so that you can keep spamming your grenade in order for us to get the max stacks of There Is Only Red as much as possible. Okay, and next for the class mod, we're using a Furnace, just mainly because of the extra points that we get from Dragon's Breath, which is really powerful. As you can see, from damage increase of 100%, it went up to 200%, which is really good. And next for the shield, we're using Watts for Dinner. As you can see, when Overshield is active, grants 25% bonus shock damage. And also we have an amp augment. When energy shields are full, shots drain 35% of those shields for 150% gun damage, which is really good in bossing. That's why I'd rather put points on the best defense, so that we can also take advantage of that bonus shock damage from the Watts for Dinner. Alright, and for the ordnance, it do not matter. I'm sorry, the enhancement, it's up to you. I just went with this enhancement because I got shotgun damage and also status effect chance, which is also nice. And also we have a Piercer mod. As you can see, guns with Jacob's license parts have a 20% chance to grant a critical hit, so it also kind of helps. Alright, and now for the firmware, we're using 3 points on Deadeye for more critical hit damage, and 2 points on High Caliber just for that bonus 10% gun damage. Okay, and moving on to the specialization, Bullet Train for more gun damage, In the Zone for more gun damage and critical hit damage whenever we aim down sight, and Groundbreaker, of course, for increased damage with our Storm Cutter. And last is Now with Caffeine, so that whenever we pop our rep kit, we restore our action skill cooldown, just in case our action skill goes on cooldown. Alright, and that's why triple bypass is the best rep kit to take advantage of now with caffeine. Alright, so that's it for the build. So if you find this guide helpful, please consider liking and subscribing, and hit that notification bell for more videos to come. And you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.